Welcome to TJ's podcast.
You know, I feel free and clean on the days, well, not even the full day, but say just like the first few hours of a day after I've shaved my head all the way smooth and slick. You want to see it, Regan?
Yeah, let's see.
Look at that.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yes,
probably
you
got
did.
a hat thing right here. But
Look at you. Clean as a whistle. Mr. Clean.
you know, that's why in those old Irish Spring commercials, the soap whistled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the box, the lid on, like the little tab on the box would move and it would go, because you clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
Clean as a whistle. But my hair is like on my head is like the hair on my body. It just grows so fast, and my beard, it grows fast. But it only grows in patches on my head. You know, so that's why I shave it all off. But when I had hair, I had to get my hair cut. It needed cutting every 2 weeks, but I would have to stretch it out to 3 weeks because it was too expensive to get it cut every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Men's haircuts are crazy expensive.
Yeah. So I don't shave it as many days during the week as I should.
Yeah.
You know, so I let it get scraggly looking.
Is that something you can do by yourself?
Yeah, I do it by myself. I'm not like Rob. I'm not an invalid whose woman has to shave my head.
So what is he not able to do that you're able to do?
Be an adult? I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. What is it, Rob? Why does Meredith have to buzz your hair off and you can't do it?
My main razor is dead.
Oh, that's right. Because the razor, the clippers that he normally used, because he doesn't shave his down with a razor like I do. He uses the clippers. It was dead, and he had different ones, and she had to do it because he couldn't get it all. He couldn't reach it all. Huh. But anyway, I've been so on edge because we have an update that we need to throw out here, and we need to just flip it in every direction we can to get all of this information in. There's been some movement in the Billy Ray Cyrus Fire Rose divorce situation.
Saga.
Talking legal things. So we heard the just completely disastrous, devastating news last week, right? It was the end of last week that Billy Ray Cyrus was filing for divorce. They've been married 7 or 9 months or something like that. And he was wanting it to be annulled because of reasons of fraud and her acting unbecoming of a marriage or something like that. She wasn't acting married like. And then it was Billy Ray, a couple days later, Billy Ray filed a restraining order because she had one of his credit cards and had run it up $96,000 or something. Well, Miss Fire Rose has spoken out publicly. It says, Billy Ray Cyrus, this is page 6. Billy Ray Cyrus's estranged wife, Fire Rose, claims the singer, who is 62, quote unquote, ambushed her when he filed for divorce just 1 day before she was scheduled to undergo double mastectomy surgery. According to a new court document filed in Tennessee, she is accusing her ex of, quote, extreme verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse, end quote. Now, those things are so difficult to prove. And, speaking as an attorney,
Sure,
I know these things. And also very difficult to put a price tag on.
right.
You know, how much does he owe you for, how much are you out? What's the price of extreme verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse? So what the surgery was about is that she has that gene that you hear so much about now. Angelina Jolie has the gene where it causes breast cancer like at such a high rate in your family that the doctors will advise having your breast removed before you get cancer, because it's pretty much a conclusion that you will get breast cancer. So that's the surgery that she was about to have. And the surgery was scheduled for May 24th, which I thought was pretty selfish that she would do that on May 24th, being that's my friend Ace's birthday.
It is you're right. I didn't think about that.
And said Billy Ray quietly filed for divorce May 23rd, citing irreconcilable differences and inappropriate marital conduct. That's the term, inappropriate marital conduct. He also asked the court for an annulment on the grounds of fraud and covered that. Fire Rose now claims her home became, quote unquote, chaos in the final days leading up to their divorce due to Billy Ray placing her, quote, into an emotional and psychological prison. Whoa. End quote.
Billy
said
Ray
that she was walking on eggshells in their marital home. So I guess he's saying that he just became an anger ball in that one day.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. The documents read, and this is her filing from her attorneys. When wife would attempt to voice certain concerns, husband would often call her a selfish effing bitch and continually allege that she was using him. With wife's major surgery date looming, she was reasonably afraid to leave or seek any type of help because she feared that husband would interfere with her surgery or her lengthy recovery at home.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. She said that after they got married in October of 2023, she alleges that Billy Ray covered the bills for the singer's health insurance and was prepared to pay for any surgery expenses that weren't covered. However, as the date of her scheduled surgery drew closer, she claims Billy Ray's brother and sister-in-law attempted to force her out of the home she shared with her ex-husband by pounding on her bedroom door for hours. Get out.
Get out of our brother's Billy Ray's house.
This is Billy Ray's land. Get off his land.
Leave. Just leave.
Leave, Fire Rose. Leave. Don't nobody want you here no more. If you ain't the hell out of here by the time I count to 3, I'm going to call my boys.
Holy cow, what a mess. What a mess.
However, as the date of her scheduled surgery, okay, we already read that part. Quote, wife relied on husband's promises to pay for her surgery, and husband was now repudiated that promise. On the day wife was set to get her surgery, she was instead searching for a place to live and under a significant amount of emotional distress. Billy Ray filed an emergency motion seeking a restraining order, and they were talking about that. Her attorneys also disputed Billy Ray's fraud claims in the filing, calling it, quote unquote, untrue. Oh. That is a falsehood, Your Honor. Throughout the divorce proceedings, the parties are to live as per the status quo during the marriage, which means keep the wife into the lifestyle to which she is accustomed.
Got it.
Wife was simply living as she has since October of 2023, and her husband has no right to cut her off.
It's probably true.
His attorneys responded to the estranged wife's latest filing in a statement given to Page 6, calling her allegations, quote, especially confusing and suspicious.
We're confused.
Where is this coming from? We are shocked, Your Honor. Quote, on behalf of our client, Billy Ray Cyrus, we wish to respond to the pleading that Joanna Rosie Hodges, which is her real name, filed with the court that was released to the press today. We regret that Ms. Hodges has chosen to litigate this 7-month marriage in the press and has left Mr. Cyrus with no recourse, but to set the record straight. Like, we didn't want to do this in public. We wanted to do it in arbitration or, wherever we needed to do it. She's the one that has now made it public. So she wants the trial in public. We got to respond in public. She made this path. And we just got to travel down it.
Hey, we're defending our Billy Ray.
Yeah. The allegations that Ms. Hodges states in her answer and counter complaint are especially confusing and suspicious in its veracity, since she begged Mr. Cyrus to forgive her and take her back only 2 days after he filed his pleadings to dissolve his marriage. So it seems to me, Your Honor, that if Mr. Billy Ray Cyrus was so awful, causing psychological, emotional distress, she would want to get away from him as fast as she could. But no, we got a handwritten letter here from Miss Fire Rose that she left for Mr. Cyrus, begging him back. Please take me back. Its statement continued. When Mr. Cyrus returned to his home 2 days after Ms. Hodges was required by court order to vacate. Let me see if I can read this in my Senator John Kennedy voice.
Yeah, give it a shot.
When Mr. Cyrus, returned to his home 2 days after Ms. Hodges was required by court order to vacate his residence of over 25 years and allowed him to return, he discovered a handwritten note. And the note from Ms. Hodges professing her love and need to be with Mr. Cyrus. And a copy of the alleged handwritten note, which was obtained by page 6, shows Fire Rose professing her love for the singer, calling him her, quote, hero, end quote, close quote. It's close quote, and saying she, quote, can't live without him, close quote. So, this is getting good.
Yeah, really good.
If you like dysfunctional celebrity stories, which is the only kind that we focus on here.
The best kind of celebrity story.
God.
It's great.
This man he's in his 60s, right?
61.
He's 61, yeah. And should be relaxing somewhere, doing appearances on award shows, or going to fan day for something in Nashville, and just living a quiet life.
He had this amazing resurgence in popularity with Old Town Road and all that stuff. He's on award shows performing again, and he goes and marries a 25-year-old Fire Rose, Australia, whatever she is.
So do you think that the fraud to which he was referring is that she didn't tell him that she had to have the surgery and all that? She had these medical issues?
I don't doubt that she was dishonest about something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to have an argument there, or his lawyers advise him that way. But yeah, they're probably both in the wrong.
But I mean, it's $100,000. Well, no, that's just what she ran up on the credit card. I wonder how much, after the insurance pays, that he would be on the hook to pay for the surgery.
And I would hope that she wasn't you would hope that she's not being dishonest about that. That would be sick stuff.
But again, they keep saying on the day before her scheduled surgery and all that, but it wasn't like her surgery was scheduled because she is currently experiencing something that needs to be taken care of right now.
Yeah.
So he's probably looking at it like, well, I mean, you don't have to have that surgery on the 24th because, while chances are you're going to get breast cancer if you don't have the surgery, it's not happening in the moment. So you could postpone it a little bit.
Yeah.
I
also think I'm not the smartest person in the world, but there's no way Billy Ray Cyrus would be able to keep me in a psychological prison.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I'm going to get out of here.
You think you got a little too much brain power for him to be able to do that?
You're not going to get me, Billy Ray Cyrus. Nice try.
Right. He's not exactly what you would, compare to a cult leader, a master manipulator, huh? All right. Well, we got a lot more of this kind of stuff coming up, so hang on.
TJ's Podcast.
We're here with our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies. And, Richard, people have credit card bills, and they need to use that equity, don't they?
That's right. Use the equity in your home, restructure your debt, save yourself a bunch of money, and it's easy. We've got the instant equity. It's simple. They make you an offer. You can close in 4 days, get your money that quick. Ace, you've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. It'll change your life in virtually no time. Starts with a free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Company.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
Back to TJ's Podcast.
So another stupid celebrity stuff. I had no idea, Riggins, that that this was going around the social medias and all of that. Ariana Grande has a fake voice.
Yeah, this is a weird one because it's so clear in this example that people are sharing.
So this little 13-second clip started going around the internet, and somebody was like, listen to how her voice changes, and she's got a fake voice and all of that.
She's on a podcast hosted by Penn Badgley. Remember him?
Oh,
yeah. Gossip Girl and stuff.
You.
Yeah, and he's the guy in You.
Uh-huh. And he's a nut.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
It was a great interview too. But they're picking out this clip of her speaking, and it is odd because she does change her voice within seconds.
Okay, here's what it is in case you haven't heard it. Even if you have heard it, here's what it is.
It's the only thing I thought. That's how I felt. I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot, and maybe there's some more, but I would like to do a deluxe at some point.
Okay, so she goes from a normal woman voice all of a sudden back up to Ariana Grande, high kid-sounding voice.
Yeah, it is odd.
And what did she say? It was because she's so used to having to manipulate her voice high and low to protect her vocal cords and stuff like that.
Exactly. But you always hear her in interviews when she's really letting her guard down. She kind of has that huskier, kind of deeper voice. But lately, especially with the promotion for her upcoming movie Wicked, she's got this new very high-pitched.
I thought that was what she had always had.
Maybe
like when she's playing Cat.
Yeah.
On Nickelodeon. Her voice is weird. Yeah, and it's part of the comedy of the role. But I thought that when she was doing interviews and stuff, it wasn't that blatant, but it was more like the second voice that you hear in the clip.
Yeah. And I don't doubt maybe there is something to that. She's got to alter her voice for singing.
I've never heard of that. And I've kept up with music and stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
My mom was a retired music teacher.
Yeah.
I've never heard of having to change the way you speak other than don't speak or whisper if you're looking to save your voice. When I was, I think I was three years old, I had nodules on my vocal cords that had to be removed.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. And the doctor said after the surgery, he's going to have to talk in just a whisper, for however long. But getting a 3-year-old to understand that is almost impossible. So we'll probably at some point have to go back in when he's older and redo the surgery. But I mean, I wasn't trying to tell the story for this reason, but they said that even at 3, I was so smart that I knew, and I never talked above a whisper the whole time. And when they took me back for the checkup, the doctor said, well, has he been talking? And he said, he's only been whispering, and that's very little. And he was like, okay, well, we'll see. And then he was shocked to see that I had accomplished that at such a young age. And, he also happened to have a piano in his office, and I just took off playing some Beethoven and all that I'd never even heard in my life. It's kind of what I do. No big deal. No big deal. But I've never heard of singers having to go from this to...
Never, no. What you learn from that?
I mean, is she... I always tend to go the other way. Like most people who like celebrities and all will try to make excuses for them and go, oh, she did. I go the other way, and I automatically distrust them and think that they're fake. And so when I hear that, I think, well, she's been using this voice as part of her persona, that higher, more young sounding voice. The same way that when someone is talking and they go up on the end of their words and sentences, a lot of times women will do that because they just hear it becomes a speech pattern because that's the way other people are talking and all of that. But some people do it, like actresses and whatnot, to make themselves sound younger, because you sound more immature when you're doing that. When you're doing that, and today I'm going to ring the bell, and it will tell everyone it's time to come in. You remember when Justice Kavanaugh was being confirmed, and the Democrats were calling him a gang rapist and a drunk and all of that stuff, and they brought that professor in who said that he raped her at a party, even though she couldn't remember what night it was, what they were doing, or any of the details about it. And then he proved that he didn't do that. But that's the way she talked when they were questioning her in the Senate, in the Judiciary Committee.
Yeah, it's a form of protection.
Yeah. It makes it seem like I'm innocent and vulnerable and young.
I think Ariana Grande is using it the same way, though, because what you learn from that interview, she is teetering. I think they talked about, she was doing that concert with the bombing.
Yeah.
Killed 22 people, a lot of them kids. Then her boyfriend ODs, 2 months later. She's gone through some pretty incredible stuff, and they ask her about it, and immediately she can barely speak. So I think the voice is sort of putting a wall up, like this is my protection against whatever you're going to ask me.
Mm-hmm. It's it is a way to, again, fake may not be the best term for it, but a way to step outside, put forth something that's not real about you. Yeah. For years, Eddie Murphy claimed that his real laugh was, and then over the past few years, he admitted that was a fake laugh. He always did it as a fake.
Yeah.
So they all have these little, not all of them, but most of them have these little techniques.
I heard he's a real bore.
Yeah,
I have heard.
I could see that.
Other celebrities say like, "Oh, did he talk to you at all?" And they're like, "No, not really."
Yeah.
A little, little cold.
Yeah, that makes sense though. I always say that I wouldn't think that Jerry Seinfeld is a cool guy just to hang out with and yuck it up with and all that. But he's starting to be more human-like in the media and all of that.
Absolutely.
And I don't say that as an insult, human-like. I just mean that some people whose minds work in an artistic, entertaining way aren't like everybody else, good or bad. I mean, but you take somebody as talented and all as Eddie Murphy is, I could easily see where he's just a performer and then more introverted.
Yeah.
After that. And you know that new Beverly Hills Cop movie is coming out too.
Oh, are they done with that?
I think it's coming out in the fall, maybe. I'm not sure.
It'll be interesting to see.
And then, what is this one? Riggins says that this was something where you're at rock bottom. This is a very attractive lady who's walking and videoing herself, talking about what's going on in her life. So, listen.
You know, life really does come at you fast because 1 minute, my boyfriend's meeting my parents, I'm spending a day with his grandparents, and the next day, we have like a mini communication breakdown and I don't hear from him, and it's been a week. And my birthday's in 2 days. So, needless to say, I'm fighting for my life over a man, nay, boy, and writing shit on Post-it notes like, you're worthy of love, and I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to take a break before we get into all of this, because I had several things with this that are observations on my part as a shithead.
As a fellow shithead.
Yeah. So we'll get to that next.
More of TJ's podcast is coming up.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and we're talking about home improvement. That doesn't just mean like my wife thinks our home would improve if I left it. That's not what that means, is it?
Yeah, for Jody, that would probably help her out. But for everybody else, we need a sun deck or they want a backyard kitchen. It's an easy phone call to 704-800-4719 or log on to homewithrichard.com.
Now, you've got the money in your home. Let Richard find it. HomeWithRichard.com. It's the Richard Toccato Companies.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months, 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Welcome back, world, to TJ's podcast.
Okay. So here's the clip of the lady, again, who's going through a rough time lately. And then I wonder if she even realizes that she's using the catchphrase, that famous scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off when she says, "Life comes at you fast." Did you know that was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, I've seen that movie, but I didn't recognize that.
Yeah. So here we go.
You know, life really does come at you fast because 1 minute, my boyfriend's meeting my parents, I'm spending a day with his grandparents, and the next day, we have like a mini communication breakdown and I don't hear from him, and it's been a week. And my birthday's in 2 days. So, needless to say, I'm fighting for my life over a man, nay, boy, and writing shit on Post-it notes like, you're worthy of love, and you're not a worthless piece of garbage, and putting it on my bathroom mirror. I'm not doing well.
Okay. I need to know what a mini communication breakdown means.
That's what happens when your relationship exists mostly, or a lot of it, over text.
Mm-hmm.
When that's your main form of communication, instead of calling that person every day, you're just texting them. So it's just different. Now, dipping out for days over text message, something else is going on.
Well, I learned, and this is what my opinion was as an old fogey, because I've been an old fogey since I was in my 20s. Riggins, when you were dating the girl in the serious relationship you were in, and sometimes when you would talk about that y'all were fighting or whatever, and then you remember I would say, oh, you're doing all of this over text? You're not talking to each other with voices. This is just text. Because that was something that just, when that became a thing that, and not when texting became a thing, it was a thing way before that, but when people they got to a point where texting was the preferred method of communication over talking, that all of these things, you're right, started to go a different way. Like, what did you mean by that? You can't even use certain emojis without offending people and all of that kind of stuff.
There's no nuance to whatever you're saying.
Right. So what does mini communication problem mean? Does that mean the communication was that she was griping at him about something and he didn't like it and she didn't mean what she said, or vice versa? Did he say something to her that she took offense to and then she unleashed on him and then he was like, I didn't mean it that way and now I don't even want to talk to you? That's one thing.
Yeah.
But does she want him back or not?
I can't tell. She's already calling him a boy.
That's what I'm saying.
Putting it on social media.
If she wants him back, then that's not a way to do it. To go, nay, a boy. And she obviously needs it to be settled in the next 2 days before her birthday.
It's my birthday. But she's going through it.
So you say that the sign that you're really going through it is by putting inspirational quotes and on Post-it notes and putting.
Have you ever? I hear that all the time. I just write, you're beautiful. Kendall Jenner said she taped a picture of her 12-year-old self on her mirror. So every time she looks in the mirror in a bathing suit and she feels bad about herself, she goes, I keep that picture there. So when I'm being critical of myself, I'd say to myself, you're really making fun of that girl. You're being mean to that girl when you're critical about your body. I mean, it's like so dramatic, but to put, and that's like a strictly female thing. I don't know any guys that are like writing down little, you're worth more than that, and posting it on their bathroom mirror. I don't know.
I've done stuff like that, but in a different way, more of a motivation as opposed to inspiration. Because back when I was, really, really into nutrition and fitness and all of that, I was a gym rat, the whole thing. And then I had taken a break from it and gained weight. And it wasn't like it is now where it's just like the normal me now is fat. That wasn't normal for me back then. And so when I started hitting it hard again, I would leave these little notes in certain places, like in the pantry. Yeah, I would put a note in there that said, basically it was saying don't eat this crap, but it said nothing tastes as good as the results of hard work feel. Yeah. And then I put a picture of myself looking fat on the alarm clock because I would get up extra early and work out. And when I went to turn the alarm off, that I would not hit snooze and get back in the bed because I'd see that great big fat picture of me there. But so I guess that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
This seems, but over a relationship.
Yeah, that there was if it was such a mini communication breakdown, then
you could have just said, and then he hasn't texted me in 3 days.
Yeah.
One
day he's meeting my parents, and then he goes to spend a day with his grandparents, and then there was a mini communication breakdown. But the thing that's interesting is that men and women hear that differently. There was a mini communication breakdown. A woman would hear that as he wasn't paying attention and wasn't talking to her or didn't do this or didn't do that. Men hear that as, oh, she was probably being a bitch to him.
Right. Oh, he's just ignoring her.
Yeah.
What I guarantee you has not happened is that she has not picked up the phone and said, hey, what are you okay? You haven't texted me. I guarantee you that hasn't happened. Now, not saying that she needs to, because if he's not texting her, clearly he's being a jerk, I think. But that she hasn't picked up the phone and been like, hey, what's going on? I guarantee that hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's just...
She probably just needs to leave him.
Yeah, that's the thing. you got to determine whether she wants it to be fixed or not. And if she doesn't want it to be fixed, then just who cares?
Take care, wash your hands.
Yeah. Then sitting around and pining over it, and you are beautiful, and you deserve to be loved, and all of those kinds of things. It's so difficult.
It's young love.
She's not even that young, is she? She looks like she's 30s.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I would say 20s, but
my wife had babies when she was 30.
Well, that is true.
You
text with Jody a lot?
No, because I see her, and
yeah, right.
I'm home early.
What would she text you? Like, get something from
Okay,
the
well,
store?
there, I'll read
read us some Jody texts here.
Okay.
Just see what's doing.
Let's see. Well, first of all, I got to scroll way down to get to a Jody conversation.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So Monday, she sent me a text saying that somebody had made an offer on my paddleboard that she decided to sell on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. Yeah.
And she said, someone is offering, and then said what it was for paddleboard. I said, it's up to you. It's your deal. Meaning, it ceased to be my paddleboard whenever you decided you were going to sell it.
Yeah.
It's a girl, and we have 50 mutual friends. They're good friends with and then she named a couple that we know. And I said, okay. And then she said, let's see. Yeah, just a couple of minutes later, she was finished with that conversation and then just came back with, y'all please discuss and decide on second vacation week.
That's actually a really good one because we do need to do that.
And then out of the blue, she just sent this video of a kid falling off stage at his graduation because she thought that was funny.
She loves somebody falling.
Yeah.
That's worthy of a text. She's like, I got to get this to him right now.
And yesterday she was leaving to go to her women in weights class at little friend Jenny's gym.
Women in weights.
And she just said, bye, I love you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bye.
So that kind of thing.
All right. So she does send some like meme kind of content, funny video here and there. And all right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like Thursday at 2:12 p.m. You need beer? Yes, ma'am. Get cans, though, so we don't have to get it Saturday. So before we go out on the boat,
we need to
take cans. And then just how many.
Yeah. Does she send emojis?
Yeah, laughing emojis a lot of times. Like she'll do that kind of thing. But it's never like we don't ever argue on text.
Yeah.
None of that, unless unless she's listening to the show and I'm making jokes about her and all. She'll send things. What? This is just rip on Jody day, huh?
Yeah, right. You know what I had to learn? That's super weird because I'm a millennial, but your kids are Gen Z.
Yeah.
One thing, you can send them a funny video and get no response, and vice versa. Like you're not supposed to respond and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's the funniest
really?
thing." Yeah, and that's like such a clear difference between my generation and theirs. Like, and they'll a couple over a time, like no response, but they're watching them.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll make you very self-conscious, like, because if I had sent something to a fellow millennial and they no response, I'd be like, oh crap, they hated that. I didn't even think that was funny. I didn't get any response. But it's the norm for them.
Huh. Well, they don't give me hassle for it.
What do you mean?
If they send me stuff, I always respond with a laughing emoji
right,
or whatever.
That's the natural response. But like,
they never said, Dad, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because they're being nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I feel the same. It'll make you super self-conscious.
And my daughter is so sweet, and sometimes I'll do things just to see what her response will be. Like she loves Joe Burrow, and not just as a player because we're from Louisiana, but she thinks he's hot.
Yeah.
And I sent her a picture of him yesterday on a stage, and he's wearing a matching outfit, like shorts. with the shirt that matches. It's a short set.
Yeah.
And I said, you like his short set? She goes, yes, he looks cool. I said, do I need to start wearing that kind of socks, or is that just for young people?
Yeah. Should I be doing that?
And then she just put, keep the ankle ones, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I said, yeah, I was thinking I'm too old, but just wanted to double check. Don't ever say you're too old for something. But you're too old for those socks. Like, she didn't say I was too old. Yeah. She said, I would just keep the ankle socks.
Yeah. That's the biggest conversation right now that I don't understand. Should I be doing that? No, of course you shouldn't, because they're not for you. They're for kids and young people. Yeah. If you did it, you're going to look like a stupid idiot. I don't get it.
I knew the answer because I'm so sensitive to people thinking I'm trying to look young.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see how she would respond, because I knew she wouldn't say, "No, Dad, you're too old for that."
No, definitely not. You look like a goober.
I just stick with the the ankle sock.
She's sweet.
All right, gotta go. Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye.
Serving the world. It's TJ's podcast.